you're going to end up in this kind of situation now where you've got the two skins on both ends and your hoops over the top. You'll notice that this top one is hanging a little bit to the side and it's not matched up perfectly. I'm okay with that because I'm going to start bringing this rope around and getting some tension this side, pull down, and I'm going to use my hammer to make some adjustments. If you loosen too much of this off, you're going to create more work for yourself. If you don't loosen enough, then you're going to be battling having this side pulled down too far. But I'm quite happy with the balance right there. I'll just get a bit of distance so you can see where I'm at. So super loose, sorry, no strings, super loose, and then a bit of tension this far side. It's not massive tension, it's just going to need a mallet to knock that over in a second. Okie dokes. So next up, I'm going to start threading some of this through. Not going for any tightness, I just want to get the rope through all of the hoops so that I can then concentrate on getting some even tension in a second. I forgot to mention, when you take your drum apart, you're going to want to make sure that the ends of your bits of rope are pointy. What I've done here is I've used a lighter and a pair of pliers. I've melted them and then, just going to focus there, and then grip them so that I've got some hard ends that I can feed through all of these bits. Much more easier to handle than fluffy tassels. I've fed in some of the ropes here now. You'll still see there's a little bit extra of the lower ring poking out. So this is where the hammer's coming into play over this side. Your rubber mallet, sorry. You're aiming to get the upper ring knocked over while you push in with the other hand over this side. So every look, it's got my knee there, and I'll tap. And that sort of action is going to match up your upper and lower rings. So they're looking pretty good now. Great. I forgot to say earlier, you're going to need one of these. I'll just pass over my camera. So we're looking over here. This is going to help you pull out the rings. So you've got your pre-pointed rope that you melted, and then you can just pull this out and push that through. That's going to save you a lot of time. Oops, fabulous. So I've gone around the whole drum now, and there's just a few ups and downs that are not connected because there's so much slack around the other side of the drum here for all this. Now is a good time just to check that you've not got anything trapped or loose around around your edges here. You'll notice I've got this bit of string hanging out. If I left it until all of this was tensioned before I try to pull that out, I might struggle, so now's a good time. Also, we're looking for symmetry in everything. If I go down to the bottom of the drum, you can measure this distance between the shell of the drum and the edge of the skin to see if it's the same over this side, and it's not. So the body of the drum needs to be moved over that way. I'm going to be looking underneath up here as well, this distance and this distance. We're looking from the top if there's any bit of the lower ring hanging out where it shouldn't be. So here the rim has slipped. This is the rim that was on the bottom of the drum, and it's already slipped, so we're going to be using our mallet again to make some adjustments. Probably pushing in with one hand here. My knee's going to have to do the job for now, and mallet over the top to bring that over. Yeah, and that already helps. Magic. Okie dokes. So it's mallet time now, getting everything evened up before you do any tension. Everything's just by hand at the moment. So as you're going around just checking for evenness on the rim and using your mallet, you're going to be hitting everything lots, tapping bits down, in case one side's higher or lower than the other. You want to do everything, you want to check the other end of the drum every time you make some sort of adjustment on one side, because if you do some tightening here, it might have upset some work that you did just there a second ago. So it's a constant battle. Every adjustment is going to be making an adjustment the other end. Now is the time, as you're going around tightening these ups and downs by hand, to get your pliers, and any loose bits of skin you're going to feel underneath where there's some looseness. Here we go, I've got a bit. You want to grab the skin from above and have a little pull through there. Not super tight, because that's going to make it harder for you in a minute when you start to pull the head of the drum down. If you end up pulling this, like I said earlier, too tight, then your finished product is going to end up with no head above the knots. You want your head higher than the knots here. Can't see it too well, that end. At this end, you can. There we go. You want your head higher than your knots. Okie dokes, so I've just gone and tensioned all of these verticals by hand only at the moment. I've checked that my upper rings and lower rings are right next to each other, up tight. I've pulled all of the skin in, and then I'm looking to see that my verticals are vertical. If they're not, you're going to have to give this a nudge, twist it around a little bit to make sure all of these are straight, going from bottom to top and top to bottom. As I've gone all the way around, I'm left with two little tails here. They're eventually going to match up as I get more slack. As I tighten this up, I'll end up with more tails here, sorry. Some people will tie a knot here and then work around tensioning all the way around this way. I find that if you do that, if you tie a knot there and you're only working in one direction, you're disabling yourself. So you want to be using your maul grips instead, clipping, and you can then clip at various points. You can work in this direction from here, and then that direction. You can pick your starting points more freely if you don't tie a knot and you just use the grips. Great, so we've got verticals, we've got all of this pulled in. The tension that you made with your string at the beginning, if it's even on both ends of the drum now, the work that you're doing this side should hopefully do the same work that side. Dundun reskinning is notoriously difficult because you can start doing something here and it upsets something there. If this tension's even, then that's going to be your best friend, that's going to help you out. So make sure you get this bit right at the start. As you'll see, when I said that my mum was wonky, I had not so much this side and too much that side. I didn't adjust it enough, and you can see there's more skin over this side than there is over here. So I'm paying the price for that now. And also, it might be even worse on the other end. Yeah, you can see that the lows this side and not so much here. So the rushing that you do earlier on, the bits of the process that you skip earlier on show up much more significantly later. So get all these little bits right, and you're going to be doing less battling later on. Hello, little bearsies. Hey, boy. Aww.